Yoder. My passion is to empower ag producers around their books and their finances. Beyond making these YouTube videos, I've also created an all-inclusive online bookkeeping course for producers called Ag Books. This online course will teach you all that you need to know to manage your books in QuickBooks Online. And one of the best features of this course is an exclusive Facebook group where you get direct access to me to ask any questions that might arise in your operations books. So I'll leave a link for that in the bio and you can check that out. Now let's get into today's video.
Hey, let's get into this video on how to handle the bookkeeping around your PPP loan if you have one of those for your operation. So, this is a few of these are best practices and a few of them are more or less requirements as far as handling this situation. The ones in orange are what we're going to call best practices, and the ones in gray are just how you should handle it as far as requirements go. Bookkeeping. So when we look at number one, a really good best practice around handling this loan is that you open a separate savings account for the loan. Now, this might seem like a bit of a headache. It's really not that big of a deal to open a separate savings account for the loan. Your bank should be really easy to work with around that. The whole idea here is that you're keeping the loan separate. When it comes to the loan forgiveness, which is, a really big deal, they are going to be very strict on how the loan was used. Was it used for payroll costs? And so this allows you to keep it separate and transfer. If you look at number 3, you're going to transfer those exact payroll costs from that savings account to your payroll checking account or wherever you withdraw your payroll from when that payroll happens. So you're just using it on payroll and you have that documented. It's a really good way to use the loan specifically for payroll when it comes to that forgiveness, and not just to fill in cash flow gaps, because we all have those in our operation, and I think we know how that works. You get a loan and, hey, where did it go? This is for payroll. So that is some best practices around that. Now, in order, you're going to open up that savings account for that loan, have that loan in there. Then what do you do with that income transaction into that savings account? You're going to create a long-term liability called PPP loan in your books, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. And you're going to categorize that income to that liability. If you have any questions about liabilities and categorizing them, you can check out my last video on that. But this is going to increase that liability so that that's reporting on your balance sheet. Then, number 3, you're going to go ahead and transfer those exact payroll costs from savings to your payroll account. Those transfers are going to be categorized as transfers. Now, when it's forgiven, if and when it's forgiven and how much it's forgiven, you're going to create a journal entry. And that journal entry is going to affect the PPP loan account, and it's going to affect other non-taxable income. Okay, so let's hop into QuickBooks and take a look. So we can see that we have this PPP loan coming in to our savings account. Now, this is just our general savings account. Typically, I would want you to open another savings account specifically for this loan. That is the recommendation. But we're just going to do this way because it's a lot easier. Now, when it comes down to the category, you're going to go ahead and create long-term liability, notes payable, categorize it as that PPP loan. Save and close. Easy peasy, right? If we hop over to our balance sheet, we'll find that it's reporting on there. And that's where it's going to stay. This is as of March 31st, so we have to include Now, as of April 11th, we have, here it is, our PPP loan, and that's where it's going to stay. Now, when and if that is forgiven, this is what your journal entry is going to look like. So, this date is probably going to be, we're just going to pick a date in the future. Not really sure. Sometime in May or April of next year. Not really sure how this is all going to go as far as timeline. We're just picking a date. But let's say that your loan was for $25,000 and they decided to forgive $20,000 of that. What we're going to do is we're going to put in that loan and we're going to decrease it by debiting it. If you have any questions on that, you can check out my AgBooks course. I explain debits and credits in detail. And just, always being really detailed in our descriptions. This is not terribly detailed, but that's what it's going to be. And then other income. That's what the credit is increasing other income. That is what your journal entry for the forgiveness is going to look like. So if we go ahead and I'm just for the sake of viewing everything, I am going to now, if we check out what it would look like after the forgiveness, you can see that we have $5,000 left in a loan that is payable. So they forgave $20,000 of it. We still have that $5,000 left. So that is how the bookkeeping goes for that loan. Then obviously those payments that you make on that would go towards this. I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, just let me know.